Join Bev Lazar, spiritual mentor, Reiki master, psychic medium, with Shelly Greenlaw, doula, yogi, and intuitive energy healer. Two sisters walking the path of spirit to share their experience and advice in all things energy, intuition, and beyond. The Empath Sisters.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Empath Sisters. This is Bev here.
This is Shelly.
And today we have a very special guest, and I know I am really excited to have her on today with us because she's one of my closest friends. Her name is Karmen Currie, and she has a holistic wellness center, and she offers many amazing modalities. She's an amazing human being. And however, today she's here to talk to us about her newest edition, which is called the EE system, which is an energy enhancement system. And it is quite amazing. So so welcome, Karmen.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here with you guys today.
So excited.
We're happy to have you.
I'm going to get super giddy just because that's just the energy that I usually have with Karmen too. I get so excited. So so why don't you just actually tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you got to where you are today?
For sure. Okay. Yeah. So it's been a long journey, it seems, but a really beautiful one. I started teaching yoga about almost 12 years ago. It'll be 12 years in September, actually.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. And, I started doing yoga over 20 years ago, and I just loved the body-mind connection, the breath and the body connection, and how that made me feel and how it made me kind of open up and feel connected in different ways than just the regular day-to-day life. From there, I started teaching yoga, and then I started teaching a very physical practice. So it was like a very vinyasa practice, a very heated practice.
Okay.
And then over time, after I had kids and my practice started to get a lot more softer, a lot more subtle, I started to tap into more meditation, more breath work, more spirituality, kind of going deeper into that part, right? I just felt like I was being called there more and more as I aged and as I had kids and just transitions in my life.
Yeah.
And then I've always had like a deep sense of a spiritual connection, even as like a young child. But I feel like you kind of stifle it through your maybe teens and early 20s, but it's still always there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We know that's
yeah. But even as like a very young child, I always had questioned everything and wondered why people did what they did and why we weren't living a happier life and a more intuitive life and stuff. Anyways, and then fast forward into my middle of 20s, that's when I started doing yoga. Started connecting a little deeper. And then, fast forward another 12 years, I'm now just really teaching a very therapeutic practice. So restorative yoga, talking about the nervous system and how our bodies are connected so deeply with our nervous system. With our breath work and meditation, really diving into those modalities. And then from there, I did my spiritual development with Bev. Spiritual development level 1 and level 2. And then I also did my Reiki training with you.
Yes, you did.
Lovely. And so now I teach yoga, I do breath work, meditation, and then I'm also a Reiki practitioner. And then I've also started to dabble into sound healing. So crystal sound bowls, which is so beautiful.
It is.
I love offering it.
Yes.
And I want to get all the tools, but I have one at a time.
I think Shelly could agree with you.
Yeah.
She's also loves sound therapy and sound healing, and she's slowly like getting all the pieces to like build the whole collection.
I love it lots. I don't know, I just find it so, what you said, like the word therapeutic to me when I'm hearing different frequencies or sound, right? So it's like I just relax a lot easier, or meditate maybe even more easier that way. And I just love sharing it. So I can understand your love for it.
Yeah, I know. It's, yeah, you have to take it one by one because they're quite expensive. Sorry.
Yes.
But just,
Mhm.
yeah, so I do love doing that as well. And then recently, so in end of May, we purchased the Energy Enhancement System. And that's
Awesome.
kind of what I'm here to share mostly about, because it is quite new and a lot of
Mhm.
people don't know about it. But it's very, very innovative healing technology is what it really is. Yeah, and so that's
Love it.
and today, now we've had it for a couple of months. It's in our home, in our healing center space, and it's such a beautiful space. You can see the monitors behind me,
Mhm.
and then there's monitors in the other corners as well. Yeah,
Nice.
Love
yeah.
that. So
Yeah. So
go ahead, Shelly.
I was just going to say, so for your listeners, if you're just listening, and you are interested in seeing what it looks like, go to our YouTube page, and you'll be able to see Karmen's EE system that is showing on the screen. So
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
So are you able to share with us what the EE system does?
Mhm.
yes, for sure. So
Yeah.
I'll give you the Coles Notes version of it because it's very technical. There's a lot of different things kind of going on. A
Yeah.
lot of sciencey terminology that lots of kind of goes over people's heads. And so I'll give you kind of the Coles Notes version of it. And
Okay.
so there's 5 different frequencies moving through the room. And all of them communicate and connect to the body.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'll just kind of break down those 5, but I won't take too long because sometimes people are like, just tell me about the benefits. Tell me what it does for me.
That's
So
awesome.
I'll be quick about it.
No
So
problem.
first of all, there's scalar energy. Now, scalar energy is like faster than light speed. You can't see it. It's the non-physical. It's the 5D. It's where spirit kind of is, right? And the quantum field, if you're sciencey, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so the scalar energy, what it does is it actually just clears and creates a clean environment for the body to heal. So it kind of nullifies all like dirty energy. So radiation, things like that. It just clears the energy so that you're in a very nice, coherent environment for your body to heal. Now, it's important that I say this before I go further, is like, so Dr. Sandra Rose is the one who created the energy enhancement system, and she actually created it over 20 years ago, but it's just started to kind of create traction. I think people are waking up, people are wanting different modalities, looking outside of the traditional medicine. And so one of her biggest things that she always says is, you know, healing doesn't occur outside of our body. It happens within our body. We just have to put it into the right environment.
That's right.
And so this space here is a really, really hyper clean environment for your body to heal itself. So that's the scalar energy. Then there's the other second frequency is the Schumann resonance. Now the Schumann resonance, lots of people know what that is, but some people don't. And the Schumann resonance is like the heartbeat of the earth. So it's like the electromagnetic field or frequency of the earth. So we always talk about going outside and putting our feet in the grass and grounding ourselves.
Right.
So it has that frequency moving through the room, and you can, as soon as you kind of settle into the room, you start to feel a little more at ease in your body, a little more calm, more grounded. Right?
Yes.
That's what's the frequency moving in. And then as you can see, if you are on YouTube and you are looking at the screens, you can kind of see there's like some sequencing kind of moving up and down the screens. And that's actually the Fibonacci sequence. Now that's really sciencey.
I know that one too.
But really what it is all it is that everyone is made up of the Fibonacci sequence. Every single living thing is made up of the Fibonacci sequence. And so what that's doing is it's moving up and down the screen, and it's communicating with your stem cells. And it's helping to like mobilize and activate your stem cells to help the healing process. Okay.
Yeah.
And then photonic therapy is moving up and down the screens as well. And this is what, so all the screens are perfectly in alignment with each other. And the perfect alignment creates a collision of color, a photonic therapy in the room, creating a torsion field in the room.
Right.
And that torsion field and that collision helps to charge your cells. Okay. And so we can have a low charge of cell, and that's where disease and discomfort and chronic pain kind of live. And that's where your cells are like a 20 millivolt. And then when you have a higher charge of a cell, so 70 to 90, that's where like optimal health lives. And so when you're in the space, you're actually charging your cells on a cellular level, helping you to optimize living in that optimal environment within the body. And then lastly, the color on the screens, and that's color therapy. And the colors, it's very ancient color therapy. And you think of the chakra system as the colors and the relation of the color and the chakra. It's the exact same thing. So our DNA is like, how can I explain this? The DNA actually attracts light. Depending on where it is in your body will depend on what color resonates with your body. So you can just imagine the green on the screens connects to your heart and your cardiovascular health. Okay. And it's the same way with everything. The blue on the screen connects to your throat chakra, and everything in your throat, your thyroid, all the things going on here. And it's again, it's just communicating with your body. And so those are the kind of that's the technology moving through the room. And then I always say there's one more component that isn't really talked about, but when you really think about it, it's one of the most important components, and that's you, because you hold frequency too.
Right.
And right. And when you come into the space, depending on what you bring in is how much you're going to get out of it. It's like anything that we do, if we put intention behind it, if we bring our own frequency of intention, we're able to heal a lot faster, a lot more expansively. And so I always try to remind everyone that comes in to say, really sit down and take a moment to make an intention and bring your own frequency to the space and how you want to heal, what you want to kind of better in your body. So
That's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I guess my next question is, so when this EE system is running, like I can see that it is, so is there a sound at all, or is it just running like that and it's very quiet?
Yeah, it's very quiet. So I also always have music playing in the room, so sound frequency. So that I have surround sound speakers, so that again you're getting that other modality of the sound frequency. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because like as you're talking, like and explaining, and I can see them running, but I don't hear anything, right? So I just thought, well, I would let our listeners know, like, there is no sound to this EE system. It's just frequency, and you can see it on the screen. So
yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh, is it like sound healing? Because that's more familiar for people.
Yes.
And so people will relate when I say frequency healing, a lot of them will be like, oh, so it's like a sound healing thing. And I'm like, well, it's a little more than that.
Yeah. Kinda.
A lot more layers to that.
A lot more layers.
Okay. So right now, is it actually running? Like,
yes.
Okay.
So it runs 24/7.
Okay.
You never turn it off. It's always running. And if it does turn off, like say the power goes off or something like that, it actually takes about 48 hours for it to recalibrate and to like build its torsion field and to build the scalar energy and everything. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we never turn it off. I guess it has turned off once on us because the power went out.
Yeah.
We just have to wait 48 hours.
Okay. Well, then my next question would be is like, how long do you suggest somebody being in the EE system?
Yeah, that's a great question. Everyone asks that, of course. So a session is 2 hours in length.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is. So it is an allotted time, but it's well needed, like it really does create a lot of shifts in the body and in the mind.
Yeah.
You know, I've had several people come through already, and you just hear every time someone comes, I either will ask, you know, message them or email them and ask them how they're feeling, what their results are, or they'll come back again. And everyone has different results.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could you give us some examples of like what you might experience or yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So the benefits that people see are vastly different. And
Okay.
I think one thing that Dr. Sandra Rose said that really resonated with me is like, we might have something really specific that we want to heal, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like very poignant of like, okay, it's my hip, or it's this chronic illness or whichever, right? And we
Mm.
label it to being something very, very specific. But the body has its own agenda, right?
Mhm.
The body will heal in the correct order. And
Okay.
so some people are very surprised at what their results are. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, well, this, I didn't even think about this, but this happened. Anyways, and so everyone's situation, everyone's bodies, everyone is so uniquely designed, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so you just hear so many things. So some of the things that I've heard, I've had a gentleman come in and he came 5 times, and he has diabetes. And so he
Okay.
was just on this like really big health journey to heal his body, to live more optimally. And one of the things that he really struggled with, and he wasn't sure why, but maybe he thought it was the medications. He wasn't sure, but he kept having nosebleeds every day,
Mm.
constant nosebleeds.
Mm.
And I mean, that sounds so minor, but yet, like, can you imagine like having a nosebleed every day and worrying about, oh, you do? Okay, yeah,
Shelly's been there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
You know
Yeah.
then. And his nosebleeds just stopped. Like they
Mm.
just stopped. He's like, I have no idea how that happened. But they just like literally stopped. He also noticed a really poignant clarity within his mind.
Mm.
Nice.
All of a sudden, he
Yeah.
was thinking a lot more clearly. He was thinking a more balanced thought. And it does, it actually helps the EE system actually balances out the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. So it's
Okay.
really good for mental health issues or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've had someone who's dying of cancer come,
Yeah.
and it wasn't his, and there is cases, I haven't had any specifically, but there has been testimonials within the Energy Enhancement System community that have helped heal cancer. I haven't experienced that yet here, but what my client was here for wasn't about the healing process. He was here because he was in a lot of chronic pain and he wanted to live the rest of his life
Not
in
in
a bit
pain.
more ease, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he came so he could sleep at night. He was really struggling with his sleep. He wasn't sleeping, and that was creating a lot of havoc. And so
Yeah.
he was just literally coming here to kind of manage his end of life, which is really
Mhm.
sad, but also like I felt really honored that he wanted to come here to
Yeah.
experience it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I've had several moms come, you know, who are burnt out, chronically stressed, chronically overwhelmed, can't sleep at night, just feeling kind of overwhelmed and exhausted from life.
Yeah.
And coming in and being like, I haven't relaxed like that in years for
Yeah.
even 2 hours. And I
Yeah.
went home and I had the most amazing sleep, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
things like that. And I think that one is kind of overlooked.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
We overlook this idea that we're chronically tired, that we're chronically burnt out,
Yeah.
and we don't look at it as something that important to deal with.
Mhm.
But I do think it is, because I think it leads to other things. I think it leads to other diseases and other issues down the road in life. And so
For
it's a
sure.
great way for people to come and you know, deal with the now, deal with your body now, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
nurture.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to add to that. There's
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
so many things that we do just I find that we just kind of get it. We accept that we just are that way, you
Mhm.
know, like we're just always tired or always burnt out or feeling this way. And I think it just becomes such a norm that we don't really look at it until we have a bigger problem. And then, sorry, and then our focus becomes more on that, like you said, that specific labeled problem. But there's so much more to it. And there's so many other things that affect us on these levels, like the radiation that we have, that we're bombarded with in our bodies every single day by all of our electronics, the 5G towers, like that is a lot. And just environmental pollution, just trauma in the body. And it could be, everybody's trauma is different. As I say too, it's not just that you have to witness something so horrible or murders or, you know, all these things. Trauma can just be that something so simple like a thunderstorm came and like freaked you right out. Like now it's just like, you know, scared you. And it everybody's trauma is different. And those things also stay in the body. So there's just so many other things in our lives, you know, like finding that balance, raising families, working, our economy, like, you know, you start to layer and it just becomes norm. And so, yeah, those things are overlooked. And I love that you brought that up of just how good it is, even just mental health wise, because that is also a big problem that we are seeing today. And so just the fact that people can be grounded and just sleep better. I mean, sleep is so important. We can't heal if we don't have sleep. We don't function well if we don't sleep. Like everything is all connected. So as we know, with like chakras and to the physical, the metaphysical, emotional, mental, all of it. So yeah, that's awesome. So even just that is amazing in itself, if that's somebody's, you know, goal, to even just to start at that place. And then if you want to work on something that's more specific or larger in your life. So it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. Yeah.
I should mention, you reminded me of something as you were talking, Bev.
Yeah.
So you'd come in for a 2-hour session. And one of the biggest things that I like to share with people is, so most centers are in a commercial building. Not most, some are in people's homes too.
Yeah.
But ours is in our home, and it is a private session. So you get the whole space to yourself. Most energy enhancement system centers are a public space. So there you can have several chairs or you know, several recliners in the space. But what I find unique about my center is that this space is just for you. And this allows you to really open up, allows you to kind of create your own little sanctuary in this space, knowing that you don't have to share it with anyone else. And I think that is a unique experience in itself. So I wanted to mention that.
I'd love to add on that too, if you don't mind, just based off of my experience. I've had awareness of the EE system for quite some time. Was really wanting to explore that, and had discovered that one was already coming to Saskatoon at another place that was more commercial. So that was the experience that I had, which was incredible, to just the people that I witnessed and then had gone back and seen again, and the change in them was just like my mouth dropped, and I was just like mind blown of like, how can that be the same person I saw on day one? Like that was incredible to me within probably a 2 to 3 week period. And so that was really cool. I could see and feel the different energies hitting my body. I mean, I know you're saying you can't see the scalar, but to me, I could see the other energy hitting my body. And it was amazing. So I had like that. However, I am such a sensitive person, being an empath as well, that when I'm in that room with others, it was just, I discovered in comparison to coming to your center is how I had this awareness to compare to, that I guarded myself as well in the commercial space personally, because there's other people there that are healing their stuff. And I kind of closed myself off just to not feel their stuff and be in tune with it and just focus more on mine. And now Karmen having her center in her home, so in having that private space, it was just a different experience for me. And I prefer it personally. because it really allows me to just open myself up. And it just feels like I get to go, and just let it just happen, and focus on my healing and why I'm there and my intentions and all of that, and not worrying about what else is in my environment. And so that is what I would have to say, in those experiences. But some people love that. They love the commercial, they love being with other people, and that isn't maybe a factor for them, and that's okay too. They're both beautiful spaces. However, I find this one fits my healing better. So yeah, it is really beautiful.
Yeah, I do think no matter, I agree with you, Bev. I'm a highly sensitive person too. I'm sure you are too, Shelly. And so we take on other people's energy, and we also cover our own kind of up when we're around other people, so that we don't feel so exposed and so, yeah, that is the intention of this space, is that you get this space to yourself. And I think I think everyone is like that to some level. Some people are just more aware of it than others. And so, and it's like anything. When you're in a public setting, you act and feel a lot different than when you are alone on your own, right? We're a little more intimate when we're on our own. We're able to open up a little bit more when we're on our own. And so there is that added benefit to this space.
For sure.
Definitely. I know I could say being in your space, when I'm in there by myself, so many things come up, because it's almost like you're just in meditation, or you're just I find that I'm like so charged at the beginning. I'm just like, I want to think of all the things, and things are happening. And then I can get to a place where I feel really emotional. And then it's just like, okay, so I might have an emotional release. And then I might get to a point where I'm just like, now I'm so tired. And then I feel sleepy. And then I just have like a nap in there. And then after that, I feel like rejuvenated. And then I start like, I'll pull out a yoga mat, and I start like stretching on the floor in the field. And so, yeah, so it just allows you to just be yourself, in that space, where I wouldn't do that at the commercial space. I probably wouldn't want to cry in front of the whole group of people, or start stretching all over the floor and stuff. So anyway, so that's kind of, I wanted to add to that. So
yeah, that's right. I agree. Yeah. And then I should add one more thing. Is so you're here for 2 hours. It's not just it's like anything. It's not a one and done. Sometimes people feel after 2 hours some really big results. But it's not that quick fix. It's not that quick pill. This is about, making a lifestyle choice of creating a more optimal life, and just creating those modalities, or those lifestyle choices to optimize your whole being. And so some people will see a result in 2 hours. Everyone kind of sees something in 2 hours, some type of result, whether it's just, wow, I just felt like I had more energy, or wow, I felt lighter in my body, or I could think more clearly, or I didn't have my headache anymore, things like that. But then the more you come, the more your body will optimize. And what I've noticed, because of course it's in my home, so we're in it lots, is I almost feel like my cells like have antennas now. It sounds kind of crazy. It's like my body just like kind of locks in and connects immediately as soon as I'm in it, because my body is so familiar with it.
Right.
Which is really cool. And anyone can do that if you were to come consistently, right? And you might just come consistently for 5 or 10 times. And then maybe that's enough, and you might come back maybe a couple months later, or maybe just even once a month. It's dependent on what works for you. Because a lot of people ask me, well, how often should I come? And it's the same thing like with a Reiki, right? Like, well, whenever you feel like you need it, right? It's not, there's no specific schedule or timeline. It's about your unique being and your unique needs, kind of. And then after a session, this is what I was really getting to. After a session, one of the most important things is to understand is that when you're in the system, you're really mobilizing the toxins in your body. So all the frequencies are helping to move and mobilize the toxins within the body. And we have to have good pathways. So good kind of, what's the word? lymphatic system. Sorry.
Okay. I'm like,
Like,
I'm
I don't know if
sorry,
I
I
can
would
help
like
you.
to help you, but I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, I was actually just asking myself. Um, you have to have really good pathways. So you have to have a good lymphatic system to help release the toxins. And so after you have your session, one of the most important things you can do after a session is have a detox bath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this detox bath, I provide for purchase, or I'll give you the recipe to make it yourself. And you have to have this bath after. Some people are like, I have to have a bath after. And I'm like, yes, you do. Like, you have to. It's part of the protocol. It's one of the most important parts of it, because you
Yeah.
have to kind of open up your pathways. And your biggest pathway is your skin. So through your skin, that's your biggest organ. It's going to help you release and rid all the toxins that have been mobilized in your body. And you don't want to recirculate those, right?
No.
That's the whole point of coming, is to help reduce your toxic load so you can feel better.
Right.
And so after you have about a 20 or 30-minute detox bath, and then I always suggest that you shower after, just to, release any toxins that are sitting on the body and stuff. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you have to do that immediately, or can you just do it sometime that day?
So I do recommend within that day that you
Okay.
do
Mhm.
it, or
Mhm.
else, like, say if you come late at night and you just want to go to bed, you could always do it in the morning. But I
Okay.
do recommend within the first 24 hours for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I guess, like, I have another question. So is this open to anyone, or are there people that cannot be in the EEC system?
Yeah, that's a great question. Dr. Sandra Rose says that anyone and everyone, it's safe for everyone and anyone.
Okay.
So yeah, even babies, pregnant women. I know that you have a heart device. Is that
Yes, I
correct?
do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yes, like she says, everyone and anyone is able to come. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's
Amazing.
not this strong, crazy energy that's going to, uproot your body. It's
Mhm.
very subtle. It's
Mhm.
literally just creating this beautiful, coherent environment for your body to heal itself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always tell everyone, like, say if someone has an extremely toxic load, you might feel, maybe even if you don't have an extremely toxic load, but if you do have a toxic load in your body, you might wake up the next day feeling really groggy. You might be having what is called like detox symptoms. So headache, achy, maybe nauseous, things like that. But again, that's because the toxins have kind of mobilized, and that's why that bath is so important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so do you recommend, like, even after having the detox bath, do you recommend them to, like, drink lots of water and, making sure that they're not, having alcohol, or, you know what I mean? Like, things like
Yes.
that,
Yes.
to help, move that out.
Yes. So I always say drink more water than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you can, filtered water, and
Yeah.
if you can, electrolytes,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
A good quality electrolyte, because again, you're mobilizing a lot in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And when you bath, you sweat a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets hot. And so you're releasing a lot of water. You're releasing a lot of minerals through your sweat. And
Mm-hmm.
so to replenish that with your body, especially magnesium, even if you have a magnesium supplement, that's always good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other, it's again, it comes back to this, it's not a one fix all. Like, it's not just this special pill or this special thing that you do and you're all better. I always recommend, again, eat healthy, eat nourishing foods that are actually going to nourish your body.
Yeah.
Because if we were to eat a whole bunch of junk food after, well, that's putting more toxins into the body. And so you're kind of almost nullifying the idea that you were just here getting rid of them and then you put them all back in.
Right.
You have to be aware of that,
Mm-hmm.
because again, it's a holistic approach, right? And that means a holistic approach to life in general. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody really wanted to have like a little bit of more information on the EE system, where would you recommend, or what would you suggest?
Yeah. So well, you can go to my website first of all. So it's karmencurrie.com. And I have 3 videos on there that you can watch. They're YouTube videos that are very good. There's one that's quite a bit longer, a little more comprehensive about the science behind it. But then there's 2 more that kind of give you a quick overview of it. And then I've also built a PDF on my website. And again, it takes you through all the different healing modalities that are the frequencies in the room. If you're looking for more information, like if you want to look at studies, there's tons of studies out there that are being done. And there's just like Dr. Sandra Rose actually just put in, I think it was like $2 million of her own money into a research funding process to do way more research. There is a ton of research on it. And there's a lot of research paper and literature on the Energy Enhancement website. So it's energyenhancement.com. And then you can also go to Unified Healing.
Okay.
And Unified Healing is like a partner with the Energy Enhancement System. And so again, they have thousands and thousands of testimonials. You can even, on their website, you can even filter what type of disease you might have or chronic issue that you have, and then see the testimonials on that specific disease and so on.
Nice.
And then, yeah, all the research and literature is also on the Unified Healing website.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. I have another question. So with the EE system that's running right now, so are you saying all 5 of the modalities are running at once, or do you pick specific different types of frequencies for different sessions?
No, it's all running at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's I can't manipulate it at all.
Okay.
You set it up, someone came in and set it up in perfect alignment. And then there's codes that you have to put in to make sure that it's in perfect alignment and everything, and that it's running in the specific order that it's supposed to run in and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a science behind that too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just curious for just anyone who maybe might be thinking like, is it just you're getting the Schumann? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just wanted to know if it's all 5 and, that it's always running that frequency
Yeah, it
at the
is.
same time.
It is. Another question that a lot of people have is number of monitors. So I've had emails, some people email me, how many monitors do you have, la, la, la. And you can have, so I have 8 monitors. Okay. So I have 8 units is what you would call it. There's one like Tony Robbins actually owns a center in Vegas that has 48 units.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to go to that one.
I would love to go try that then.
Maybe we'll have to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So what they say is the frequency is more potent the more monitors you have. Okay. They're like, I believe, and I've actually had a lot of feedback because I center each person in the center of the room, right in the torsion field. People notice that the potency is quite strong, even though I only have 8 units. And so I think they say that it doesn't matter where you are centered or situated in the room, but I do notice that when you are actually in the center of the room, in the torsion field, it does make a difference. And that's not always the case in these bigger centers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying, but just lots of people ask about how many units you have and what does it mean when you have more or less? And so might be a question that comes up. Yeah.
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 Okay.
And I think the more units you have, the bigger the space. Is that correct or no?
Well, not really, actually. The minimum space that you can have is a 10 by 10 room.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to fit 48 units in here, so I would have to have a bigger space.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd be like,
yeah.
on the wall.
Oh my gosh.
On the
That'd be
whole room,
amazing.
yeah. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, it can be, the minimum it has to be is 10 by 10 for the torsion field to be created. And then I can't remember how big, but it's huge. You can have it quite big and still create that torsion field.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many you have in a space, really, is it? Or does it matter how many units in a space of size?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
In relation to the size of the room, it doesn't. No. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do
Interesting.
know that some other centers do offer overnights
Yes.
for some people who are really wanting like a long like sleep or whatever. But you were saying it's a 2-hour session at minimum. So could somebody come in and sit for 4 hours, do two like back to back kind of thing?
Mm.
Definitely. Yeah. Like I always say a minimum of 2 hours. And on my
Okay.
website, you can schedule or book a 2-hour session, but you would just book 2 of those back to back if you're
Okay.
wanting to do the 4 hours. And if
Right.
you wanted to do 3 hours,
Yeah.
you would just contact me.
Okay.
Okay.
Just say, hey, I would like to do more than 2 hours. Can we figure something out? And of course, I would say yes. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
somebody could then essentially do like an 8-hour, come for the day,
Oh, yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
instead of like an overnight, spend more
Exactly.
time in the space.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you felt like you wanted to really like hone in, if you were, I always, 'cause people say, how often should I come? And I always say to them, like, it depends on your intention or what you want out of this, right? So
Yeah.
if you're trying to find optimal health, the more you come or in a shorter period of time, the more optimal you're going to feel, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But
For sure.
sometimes time is a factor or people's
Yeah.
schedules are a factor. So then you come every 2 weeks or whichever, or every once a week or,
What
so
fits
it's
your
just
life?
dependent. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
dependent on your life and what you're really wanting out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yes,
I
definitely.
do know for Carmen's space, personally, she's got lounging chairs and yoga mats, and she has a cot as well that she puts right in the middle if you wanted to have a sleep. And it's cozy, and I love being in your space. It's really lovely. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to make it as cozy and comfortable and just kind of luxurious for people because we just live such
Mhm.
busy lives.
Mhm.
And I want it to be like a little bit of a little sanctuary for people to come and just like pour a
Yeah.
cup of tea
Yeah.
and like recline back in the recliner and have a cozy soft blanket and
Yeah.
really just enjoy a quiet time and healing time for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your
That is
space
beautiful.
though, even though it's like, is it only just for individuals though, or can you have like your partner be with you, or do you recommend like, can you do it like, let's say if you did it on a Wednesday, you came the next day and you did it, or like,
Yeah.
I know you said earlier, like it's whenever you want it, but is
Mhm.
there any limit to
Mhm.
it?
Yeah, those are good questions. So I do have a package on my website. It's called Heal Together.
Okay.
And just add a little bit of a discount for 2 people. So it
Mm.
could be your partner, it could be a loved one, it could be your mom, it could be your
Right.
daughter. I've had a mom and daughter come in, I've had partners come in, and it's
Mhm.
just so actually I love that offering and I love seeing people come together
Mhm.
because it just shows that like you're going to do this together, like you're
Right.
healing together, you're choosing to live a more optimal life together. And I think
Mhm.
Yeah.
this is so beautiful, whether it's with your mom or your partner or your daughter or your son or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
Yeah.
just think every time someone comes with someone, I'm just so happy because I'm just like, oh, you're choosing to do it together. Like, how beautiful is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yes, I do have 2 recliners. Some people have asked me if they could come with more. Of course, you could come with more. I would say maximum 4 people.
Okay.
But then you would be on the floor. Like you could
Right.
have You could have 2 recliners, and then maybe I have a trifold mattress that could go on the floor. I mean, I would make it really comfortable for you. But say if like a group of women wanted to come together to heal together, like, of course, I wouldn't deny that, right?
Right.
Of course, it just might not be, I don't have enough room for 4 recliners. That's fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do that, you would have to contact me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you
Sure.
wanted to have your own like mini circle, like with
Yeah.
your best friends or something like that, you could
Mhm.
come do that here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Is
can you
there
do
any
it?
limit?
Right. So no, there isn't. Yeah,
Okay.
like we've spent several nights in here, so over 8 hours. Sometimes for me personally, what I've experienced is sometimes I'll sleep in here and I have a wonderful sleep. And then I find if I kind of sometimes I can feel like not too much energy, but I can feel like things mobilizing through my body almost
Hmm.
overwhelmingly. And not in like a super negative way, but in a discomforting way, but I know that it's a good thing.
Right.
So yeah, I think you could overdo it for your body and its healing process, but I also think that like you just have to trust your body. You have to just
Right.
trust your own experience. So
Right.
if you feel like, oh, maybe that was a little too much, maybe I need to take a couple days off, then do it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But if you're like, no, that felt so good, I want to come every day for 5 days in a row, do
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. For sure. For
Well, and
sure.
just like I say to other people too, is like, even in Reiki, every time my repeats come,
Hmm.
they're always at a different place.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be the same with going into the E system. Every time you go, this is why your experiences are most likely going to be different, or your body will respond differently because you're in a different place. Maybe you've released a lot of other stuff, or maybe you've been around more exposure of like, radiation or whatever it might be. And so again, you might be, and so even hearing your story of, feeling like, and maybe that was more distracting, maybe because you have now more awareness of, yeah, of your body and how it's responding and how it's speaking to you. And so you might be like, okay, yeah, you know what, that's my max. Like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to let this move, or whatever. So yeah, it's going to be, just listen to your body. I would always say
Yeah.
anyway.
Hmm.
yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I say too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Oh, it's
100%.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful experience. I love going. I've gone with my husband as well. We've had we go on dates and we come to Carmen's place and we hang out in the EE room, and we've had naps and we've read and we've talked about stuff in there, and it's been amazing. I've been in there on my own where I've, done card spreads, and I've done like planning, and I've done so many things in that room, and I've loved every experience that I've had. So, and I could say personally for myself, I have felt like almost as if like my battery was charged.
Mhm.
Like after that for days, I'm just like, I'm so just charged, but not in a bad way of just like I'm crazy and I'm just like out of control. I just feel like I've got so much more energy. I feel so good. I sleep so much better. Um, I know I've been in there with a headache. I've been in there with some pain and discomfort in my own body or muscles, achiness, just from like exercise or things like that. And I've always felt better every time that I have come out of the EE and days after. And I find I've done it where I have experienced coming once and then a long time before I come back. And I've also experienced being, more consecutive. Um, and I mean, I don't know if I find the more consecutive that I did it, the more optimal I felt. I would have to say that for sure. But maybe it's just because of my schedule or just what I needed at the time and what I could fit in. So I was like, yeah, come for a 2 hour. I still had benefit from that. However, I found that consecutive really was like, okay, like this is awesome. So I probably personally would try to aim for that if I could. But again, just depending on where I'm at and what I'm needing. And kind of go from there. So that's just my personal experience, but
Yeah, I
amazing.
appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love for my sister. I would love for Shelly to try it out
Yeah.
sometime.
Next time
Yeah,
you're
one
around,
day.
Shelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day when maybe I'm
Yeah.
in the area for sure. And speaking of area, so
Yeah.
again, I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit, but where can people find you and contact you to have a session or
Mhm.
know more about the EE system?
Yeah, definitely. So again, you can go to my website, karmencurrie.com. And my name is spelled with a K. So Karmen. Currie,
Nice.
Currie
Okay.
.com. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm not super loud on Instagram, but I am there sometimes. And so it's Karmen.Currie.
Okay.
And you can always contact me via email too. So it's Karmen Currie Karmen Currie Wellness at outlook.com.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you located?
So I'm in Mormon, Saskatchewan. Just a few minutes, 20 minutes from Saskatoon or 15 minutes from Saskatoon, close to Martinsville. And yeah. So a lot of surrounding area for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we really, really appreciate having you on our show and
Yes.
our episode this time and explaining to us what the EE system. I know Bev knows about it, but it's more me like to learn and our listeners. So
And others, yeah.
yeah, and our listeners. And yeah, so we really truly appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. And hopefully,
Absolutely.
some of our listeners or myself included will
Mhm.
be able to come and have a session someday soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I just love spending time with you guys.
I love spending
We
time
love
with both of
having you
you
on.
too. Yes, and then thank you
Definitely.
so much
Mhm.
for being here, for sharing, your time and your space with us and our listeners today. And I'm all for all kinds of modalities, and of course, I'm all for light, sound, frequency. I'm all about it. So I absolutely love this technology, and I just love so much that one of my closest friends has this and is just so close to Saskatoon as well. Um, and so I definitely would love for more people to know about this amazing technology and what it can do for you. So I really appreciate you also willing to come on and share this
Mhm.
with everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so, so much for today. It's awesome.
Hey, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. So
All
yeah,
right.
so
Well,
everybody, thank you
yeah.
so much for joining us today with the Empath Sisters and with Karmen Currie. And we are sending all of you love, light, and gratitude wherever this may find you today. Take care,
Yeah.
everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.